All rise. Veuillez vous lever. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
We are in open session, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mofate, please proceed.
Witness, we left off at the point where the defense lawyer for Mr. Ruto agreed for you to be shown a copy of the organogram that you drew concerning the structure of the ODM. You drew this when you were spoken to by investigators of the Office of the Prosecutor. Firstly, do you remember doing that?
Yes.
And I wonder if the court officer could now display the relevant document on the screen. I did read out the ERN number. I don't know if I'm still required to do so.
Document KENOTP 00770639 is currently available on the screens and on the witness screen. It's a confidential document and it would not be broadcasted outside this courtroom unless otherwise instructed.
I'm grateful for that. Witness, do you see that organogram in front of you on the screen?
Yes.
Now, you were telling us before the break that in terms of the structure, people came first in the ODM. And if we look at the top of that organogram, do you see where you've written people's voice?
Yes.
What does that refer to?
This refers to the citizens of Kenya.
And underneath that, the next box that we see, could you read what you've written in there, please?
I've written party patron stroke party flag bearer.
And you've already told us that Raila Odinga was the party patron, the flag bearer at the time. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you've also told us that he had I believe you called it a running mate. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who was that?
Salia Mudavadi.
And to the right-hand side, there's another box that you've drawn. What have you written in there?
Pentagon.
And I don't propose to rehash, but you've already told us who the members of the Pentagon were. Now, following your arrow downwards from your box where you have party patron, party flag bearer, you have another box directly down from that one. What have you written in there?
3 party officials. That was chairman, secretary, treasurer.
And At this time in 2007, do you know which individuals held those positions?
Your Honour, if it helps, I did mention to my friend there's no objection for my learned friend to lead on this matter all the way to the next document as well. He can lead if he wishes.
Thank you.
I'm grateful to my friend. In that case, let me help you, Mr. Witness. The chairman at this time was the chairman, Mr. Henry Kosgei. Kosgei spells Kosgey.
True.
And was the secretary, Peter Anyang Nyong'o.
Yes.
I believe Anyang, spelt for the transcript's sake, is Anyang. And was the treasurer Omingo Magara.
Yes.
Now, to the right-hand side of that box, you've penned in national delegates, and there's a figure underneath, 4,200. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you'll be pleased to know that I'm not going to ask you to list them, but which regions did these delegates represent?
We had 210 constituency, and each constituency was producing 20 delegate members. So if you calculate that, they come to 4,200 delegates in total.
You've also told us about the National Executive Committee. Would that be the box that you've listed to the left of the organogram, on the same line as the three party officials?
Yes.
You know, as I just go back slightly, for the sake of the transcript, to spell the treasurer was Omingo Magara, O-M-I-N-G-O, and the second name is M-A-G-A-R-A. Now, was the executive director at this time Janet Ongera?
Yes.
Was she also the administrator of the staff?
Yes.
And would it be fair to say that the heads of departments were all under her authority?
Yes.
And if we look at the organogram that you've drawn, the final box is heads of departments. For example, security, media, campaign strategies, resource mobilization, elections board. Is that what you've written there?
Yes.
To your recollection, does this organogram that you've drawn, does it reflect the structure of the ODM as it existed in June 2007 and thereabouts?
That is the reflection.
Now, I might come back to issues relating to the structure and the premises of the ODM a bit later on. But following the nomination of Raila Odinga as the flag bearer of the ODM in 2007, are you aware of what strategy the ODM adopted in order to contest the national elections?
Before you do that, what do you propose to do with this document? Has it already gone in?
Your Honor, it hasn't gone in. I've just been reminded by my colleague next to me as well. Might this be ascribed an exhibit number? I believe it should be prosecution exhibit number 7, if I'm correct.
No objection that on the basis that it only establishes it was drawn by the witness.
No objection on our part, Mr. President.
The document will go in as prosecution exhibit in the next in this series.
Your Honor, document KenOTP 00770639. Confidential document will be attributed reference number EVDT OTP 00007 and will be referred to as prosecution exhibit number 7.
Your Honour, with your leave, perhaps it can just be noted that in future I can say no objection and it's always on that basis, then it's quicker. That when I say no objection, it will be no objection to the document being admitted without any concession regarding the facts contained therein. That way it will be a little bit quicker.
We understand that.
Grateful.
That's always how
Thank you.
it's understood anyway. So we will, the document would be reflected on the record as the court officer has indicated.
And Mr. Witness, I was asking if you're aware of the election strategy that the ODM employed in order to contest the national elections in 2007.
ODM had a strategy of reaching the people on the ground. First of all, it was through the delegates on the ground. And secondly, the ODM party structure through the elected members. Then the ODM nominated for various posts like civic, parliamentary, Pentagon members and the flag bearer. That was the strategy. And also through media, through campaign materials such as billboards, flyers, and posters.
And Mr. Witness, just to zero in on that, you did mention previously the Pentagon members, and you identified a number of provinces that some of them were responsible for. Would it be fair to say that in order to implement the election strategy of the ODM, these Pentagon members sort of were assigned the responsibility of their own provinces to drum up electoral votes?
That is true.
Now, I want us to focus for the time being on the Rift Valley. Are you aware of who was responsible for delivering, if that's a term that can be used, delivering the Rift Valley for the ODM in the 2007 elections?
Rift Valley, mostly it was left for one of the Pentagon members called Mr. Ruto. And also he was being assisted by some of the people on the ground. Probably it was also lucky that the chairman of ODM also comes from Rift Valley, so they could reach the people of Rift Valley and other aspirants from the Rift Valley region.
Now, these strategies, you've referred to a number of means that were employed in order to win the election. You've referred to the media, to campaigning, to rallies. Were these employed, to your knowledge, in the Rift Valley?
Pardon?
Mr. Omofade, can you hold that question for a minute and let's go back to the last answer before? As it appears on the transcript, the last sentence is, quote, probably it was also lucky that the chairman of ODM also comes from the Rift Valley so that they could reach the people of Rift Valley and their experience from the Rift Valley region. Is that, I'm not sure that's what I heard. If the witness can repeat that.
Witness, did you hear Mr. President's question, or do you want me to rehash it? Can you provide your answer to my earlier question again? You were talking about the chairman of the Rift Valley, chairman of the ODM, also coming from the Rift Valley. And then you spoke about the ability to reach the people of the Rift Valley. Could you repeat what you said?
I say Rift Valley, the campaign was being coordinated through Pentagon member, which the Pentagon member representing Rift Valley was Mr. William Ruto. And the chairman also was coming from Rift Valley, so they could assist one another to reach the people. And for those who are also lucky to be nominated within the ticket, also could reach the people, like parliamentary seats and civic seats. I think, is it clear?
So the word might have an aspirants from
Yes.
the Rift Valley,
Yes.
rather than experience from the Rift Valley.
Aspirants.
Thank you.
And what I then asked you was, to your knowledge, were the same means of using campaign posters, rallies, the media, and the other means that you've referred to, were these also employed in the Rift Valley province?
Yes.
Now, to your knowledge also, what was the ethnic makeup of the Rift Valley province?
Rift Valley province, is mostly dominated by the Kalenjin and some few minority tribes such as Kisis, Luos, Kikuyus, Luyas, just to mention a few.
And when you say the majority, are you able, and please don't do so if you can't, but are you able in terms of percentages to say what percentage would have been Kalenjin?
Actually, I can't estimate, but they are the majority.
Now, do you know what the predominant issues were in terms of pressing campaign issues for the Rift Valley region in 2007?
As the ODM manifesto and policy, it was advocating for equal distribution of resources, of which the resources include land and equal distribution of parliament, and equal distribution of opportunities, also equal distribution of leadership or governance.
And was this the ODM manifesto for the entire country or for the Rift Valley alone?
It wasn't for Rift Valley alone. It was the general policy for ODM.
And as regards the Rift Valley, are you aware what one of the, I'll take that again. Are you aware of what the most pressing issues were in the 2007 election?
It was a land issue.
Tell us more about this land issue as it's applied to the Rift Valley province.
Most of the people who are in Rift Valley are squatters. They never had pieces of land, so they stay in squatters. And some part of Rift Valley land are just lying fallow belonging to individuals. So ODM was advocating that when they get the power of leadership, they will look into those serious issues so that people of other areas like Rift Valley and Coast and other parts of Kenya, those who are facing the same problem, to have equal share of land.
Now, you've told us briefly about the ethnic composition of the Rift Valley province. Was the distribution of land, to your knowledge at least, was the distribution of land reflective of the ethnic composition of the Rift Valley?
In fact, according to what people were experiencing in Rift Valley, even some people who are born there, grew up there, and the ancestors were buried there, but still they are squatters. They never had land. More so, some issues were touching the majority of Kalenjins, because they have some ethnic staying in them, and this ethnic, some of them even have a bigger piece of land more than the people whose ancestors who are the majority there.
Your Honours, I just paused to go back to line 7, where the witness's response appeared to be the Rift Valley, some parts of Rift Valley land are just lying. There's an omission there. It appears to be the word fallow that I heard. I'm not sure if I'm correct.
That's what I heard too, but it's for the witness to confirm.
Witness, is that what you said when you mentioned something about some parts of land in the Rift Valley just lying, and there's a word missing, belonging to individuals? What did you say there?
Some individuals have large piece of land which are lying fallow.
So the word is fallow.
Fallow.
Thank you.
Now, in terms of the
Mr. Mufari might also look at line 18. It's the word scatters or squatters.
what I heard was squatters. It does say scatters, but...
Your Honour, if it helps, we can confirm it was squatters.
Thank you. I think that does it. We can move on now.
Now, which ethnic group in the Rift Valley appeared to be more dissatisfied with the distribution of land in the province?
Mostly are the Kalenjins.
And to your knowledge, which ethnic group which ethnic group or groups even, were they most dissatisfied with?
It is about other community or other tribes who are also in Rift Valley and on pieces of land.
Well, perhaps it would help then if are you able to tell us which other I know you use the word tribes. Which other ethnic groups appear to own